Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So it's preview day for the upcoming event, the Divinity of Champions. And as usual, we're going to spend most of the episode talking about the event deck itself. But before we do that, what I want to do is cover some updates from the newsfeed itself. Now, most of what I'm saying is going to be available in there, but I wanted to talk about it here. So the first thing is Path of Champions. So the Path of Champions is going to be closing at the end of this week's event. This is available for players 35 and above, and so you can still enter, but at the end of this event, it's going to go away, and it's going to be converted to a new Legend trial. So right now, if you go into Path of Champions, this is the place to come to if you wanted some rewards, such as some Warden Slayers or a chance for Legend Relic, all of these things, and really the best rewards here are a chance for the various souls and essences. And so even though it's closing though, these rewards are still going to be available in a different format. And what they're going to do is they're going to extend Legend Trials. So Legend Trials right now has 5 bosses that have a trillion, health that are available for players level 100 and above. And what they're going to do is they're going to introduce 5 new heroes. And so you can go in here, attack these bosses just like you would in a regular Legend Trial boss. And you'll be able to get rewards that are different than these ones, but the rewards are going to be similar to what you can get from Path of Champions. And also, what's nice is they also alluded to the fact that they're going to be updating and giving a boost to our original Legend cards. That is Rey, Keta, Dojin, Elmar, and Aileen. So what you can expect is just like how these new Legends are the best cards to bring in as leaders for these current Legend trial bosses, the original Legends are going to be the heroes to bring in for these new trial bosses, which I think is going to be great. So the stats boost for Rey, Keta, for example, is going to apply and also be added to the Legend boss. So that's something that I'll be covering when it's available at the end of this event. So now let's go over and talk about the cards themselves. So this is a Fire God commander deck, just as I was expecting would, because it was supposed to be Egyptian themed. And so if you take a look at the cards, let's take a look at so we have Lepora, Jarvis, and Nusku as the collection heroes. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but first let's just jump right in and take a look at the cards here. So we have Ra, which is the main event card. You'll notice that it's a warrior card. In fact, the entire deck is a warrior deck, just like the Domi deck here. So that's something that immediately makes me think that if possible, we can try and see if Domi applies to this deck, but we can talk more about that a little later. So Ra, his battle skill will create 5 Fire Power Gem 1s, and if there are 4 more Fire Power Gem 4s on the board, it'll create 5 additional Fire Power Gem 1s. And so depending on whether or not you have these additional Power Gem 4s, you can create between 5 to 10, and there's currently no intensity requirement there. What you're going to see here, though, is the passive Eternal Flame. If there are 8 or more Fire Power Gems on the board, increases God Hero's attack by 55% plus 3% per 20 intensity. Now, what I'm going to say is, over the last few months, a few weeks, really, a few events, I think that having these attack boosts that can be unbounded are really, really powerful. So as as you go up in intensity, the cards just get more and more powerful because you're boosting attack, which is really, really big. Right, so Ra is a feature card that will boost attack and also create up to 10 power gems, which by itself I think is a really good card, given that it's an event card that is easier to obtain. Now let's go into the collections. So you can see that it's Master Rune Collection style again, and you can see that I have 3 of the runes already because I'm lucky that I have these cards already in my collection. So I have Lepora, Jarvis, and Nusku. All 3 of these cards are available in the Dust collection, Dust Merchant. So some of you have asked me that what I mean by that when I mentioned Dust Shop. Well, so Nusku is going to be available in the 4-star hero pack for 100 dust, and Lepora and also Lepora is available in the 20, whereas Nusku, I believe Nusku is also available in the 20. So Nusku and Lepora are available in the 3-star hero slot. That just means if you open these packs, there's a chance for those cards. Whereas Jarvis is only available in the 4-star hero pack. So if you're looking for one or more of those cards, that's where you can expect to get them. Now I do have all 3 of them, and what they've changed this time around is that you can actually get these a single rune for each of these cards. So I think that's a good change there. But the other thing that they've changed though is that you can now only collect 5 in the Legend collection. So there's kind of a drawback there as well. So I'm hoping that you get lucky and that you have these cards, and if not, hopefully you can pull them from the dust shop if you have enough dust. Now let's take a look at the other cards. Let's take a look at the support card, which is Apep, Chaotic Carnage. So this card kind of acts like Ophrah, actually. So if you take a look at the battle skill, it will apply Malign to 1 God Hero plus 1 additional God Hero for every 100 God intensity, rounded down. And what it'll do is it'll create 3 fire gems every time the hero attacks. So the way this works is when this hero attacks, it'll always create 3 fire gems. So it doesn't matter whether you activate a battle skill or not. But if you can get your intensity up to 500, now what you can do is with all 5 God heroes on your team can get an additional Malign. So this card will get its own boost. So it'll create 6 fire gems. All the other cards, if they're not Apep, will create 3 fire gems. So just for the math here, if you get up to 500 intensity with only 2 Apep on the team, you'll be able to fill the entire board with fire gems. So that's how they think about it. So once you reach 500 intensity, just 2 cards is enough for you to fill out the board with fire gems. But it only lasts 1 turn, and there's a 3-turn cooldown. Now let's take a look at the ultra rare card here. So Cobra, King Apophis. Like I said, this is also a warrior card. So this is the ultra rare, and you can see the battle skill. This is at 5 stars. So the battle skill will apply Chaos Flame to 1 God Hero plus additional 1 for every 100 God intensity. So you can sort of see the theme now here. These are cards that now apply its own passive onto another card. And what this will do is it will create Power Gem 3 every time the hero attacks. So instead of creating fire gems, this will create a power gem. And keep in mind that if you have multiple copies of the ultra rare, this will stack. So that means if I have 2 copies of Cobra and I apply the battle skill at 500 intensity, every time I attack, this card attacks, it will create Firepower Gem 3 plus an additional Power Gem 3 because of the additional Chaos Flame that's applied to it. And then when the second Cobra will do the same thing to itself. So you're gonna get a stacked Power Gem 3s across the board, the more ultra rares you have. And I believe that at 6 stars, this is going to be upgraded to Power Gem 4, which is going to be useful for both the event card as well as the Master Collection card, Firefly Thoth. And you can see the battle skill here. This is an upgraded version of Ra. It'll create 5 Power Gem 2s. And if there are 4 or more Power Gem 4s on the board, it'll create an additional 5. And so you can basically see that you're just going to be creating Power Gems all over the place. And the passive here will boost the attack by 75%, plus 4% per 20 intensity. So this is just really big attack boost. There's no nuke card in this deck, but it is going to be a type of deck that's very similar to the Demigod Earth deck, where you can deal just tons and tons of damage. I believe this is the type of deck that can one-shot the Ketakozo in the upcoming Legend Trials. And in fact, let's take a look at the actual gameplay for this deck, which is available in the network app right now. So let's take a look at the the full deck and see it in action. So I'm going to commentate a little bit while this takes place. So let's see if I can fast forward this a little bit. So basically this deck uses 2 Raws, 2 event deck, the 1 master card, 1 ultra rare, and then the support card. So the way to play this type of deck is you're actually going to be setting up for the next attack. So you can see that the first thing we do is we activate the support card and the ultra rare, because that will give you additional power gem and fire gems when the heroes attack. So you build that first, and then you activate Raw and the master collection card, because then you're building up the power gems to activate more of their abilities to get some really big damage boost. So you can see right now the card, Master Collection card, dealt 12 billion with only 120 intensity, and you can see that as this goes up in the next turn, it'll deal even more damage, right? So this is the type of deck where you don't activate everything all at once. You have to really think about which cards to activate. And let's see here how much damage this deals now. So you can see this is basically full board of gems with this this deck here. But really, so 13.7. So you can see how it went from 12 billion to 13.7. So let's pause that now, which is really amazing. Just think if you think about the damage potential there. What we can see there too is that we know that the Master Collection card is an upgraded version of the event card, and so obviously it's really good. Now, is it absolutely necessary? I would say that based on what I'm seeing here, I think this card would be good to have, but if you don't have it, you can still get some really good results with Raw. So you can get a few copies of Raw. You'll be able to get something similar there. It's just that you will need to have more power gems in order to activate their additional abilities. But I still think that it's going to be workable. Now, this deck compared to the previous deck with Amy, I think that the one difference is the ultra rare card here will make a difference because this is the card that's going to create power gems. Power Gem Force. So it's not just Power Gem 2 because it needs to be Power Gem Force before your Raw can create additional Power Gems. So it's not that it's absolutely necessary, but having that will double your damage is really the way to think about it. And so, is it absolutely necessary? Like I said, I don't know if it is. I just think that this deck is going to be more complete with the Ultra Rare, whereas compared to the Amy deck, from the past event, ultra rare was good to have but not necessary. So my take is that this is going to be a powerful deck, but as always, be mindful of sort of how much an entire deck is going to cost. So for me personally, I think that having a collection of the support card plus the event card here is going to give you relatively good damage already for the event. So if you're looking for a budget build, I would say 2 of the support cards plus 1 or 2 of the event cards. So hopefully you can get one from the collection here. And if you wanted to, try for it, because at tier 3 there's a chance for you to get it as well. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to tier 3 for a couple of reasons. Because if you go to tier 3, you can get a couple of keys. There's always a chance for you to get one of the event cards, and at tier 3 you'll definitely get one of the 4. So yeah, there's a 1 in 4 chance of getting it. You do get 500 gems back, and you also get 1 additional rune. So let's go ahead and try our luck and see what we can get. And after this, I'm going to show you another deck that I'm building to finish out the episode. So let's go ahead and open the pack here. So the gems that I have right now are what I collected from the winnings from last event. So I'm going to be using that sparingly. Hopefully I can get something good. And so this is actually the support card that was part of the new Scoot deck for the Fire Dragons. Let's see if I can get lucky on tier 2. Last time I got really lucky in tier 1 and I got a card. Oh, it looks like I'm not going to get. I'm going to get a dark card instead, which is Frost Heart. Okay, now let's go into tier 3. So keeping my fingers crossed that I can get Raw. If I do, then I'll be able to put them into my team right away. So let's see here. Why do I have these 2 cards? They're not even fire. All right, so let's get the gems. So we get 500 gems. We get some keys. And it looks like I got Lepora. That's unfortunate. And let's see what rune I got. So yeah, I don't have the event card, unfortunately. So let's see here. I have now 4 runes. Do I have a... Okay, so no. At least I was able to get a rune there that isn't a duplicate. So I just need 2 more runes to get a master card. So I'm hoping that I get lucky there, keeping my fingers crossed. Now let's go ahead and take a look here. So I need to clear out some space first. So let's just go ahead and do that. I don't need Lepora. So I'm going to get rid of that. Don't need this. Let's go ahead and change this to... So let's see here. looks like I got another Nusku there, so let's remove those. Yeah, so I got another Nusku, but I don't need it. All right, so now let's take a look at the deck here. So I built this deck here just to show what each of these support cards can do. And so let's go ahead, and I wanted to showcase that. I wanted to showcase the cards here. And we can show that in the campaign. So one quick tip here, also if you're farming for experience, the best place to do so is actually on Adventure 1 of 7, on the second map. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and bring in a non-fire hero just to kind of show the cards here. And really what I'm going to showcase is 2 cards, Nusku and Jarvis, because these are the 2 cards that are actually more useful than Lepora. Lepora just, creates technological intensity, which doesn't really help the deck here. So I have brought in here with me 5 corrupt relics. And so what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to try and build up the corrupt intensity, because what it will do is Jarvis will actually create fire gems as well as destroy water gems. So it's kind of like a fire gem creator. Now you don't really need that since you already have APEP as a support card here, but if you wanted to have this card, this is how you can use it. And so Nusku, though, what it'll do is it will increase the drop rate of your fire gems. So if you activate this card first, and then activate any other card, and if you just basically find a way to clear the board of most of its gems, you'll see that all the gems that drop are mostly going to be fire gems. And so this is pre-intensity, so these cards actually work better than the intensity dependent cards that need to, that can destroy gems, because you'll always get more fire gems, more gems that will get dropped. And so I think Nusku is a good card to have in your arsenal as well, so that when you do a power gem swap, when your board is mostly full with fire gems, you can do a power gem swap and then have more fire gems drop for additional damage. And so of the 3 cards there, I would say Nusku is going to be your most useful. And the way that you can evolve them, it was an ultra rare card, so it does have some requirements there for some of the catalysts that you may not have access to, but they are available in the dungeon store. And so I would recommend using it. But at 5-star, I think that it already drops well enough, so I don't think you need to invest in getting it to 6-star. So that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and in either the next episode or when the relics are available, I'm going to have another episode to talk about the actual gameplay itself, and we'll talk about more updates then. So thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.